A lot of your struggle is optional. A lot of the struggle we all experience in life is optional. A lot of us are choosing to be frustrated. We're resisting reality. Like, life is happening. And, as Tony Robbins would say, it's happening for us, not to us. And I agree with that because it's the most empowered way that you can see life. It's like believing that everything happens for a reason. I believe everything happens for a reason. I have for a long time. Just even if you pull all the meaning and dogma and everything else out of it, everything happens for a reason is a useful way to look at things because you're not a victim to anything. And if you're not a victim to something, you can do something about it. You can take an action and it won't disempower you. And I'm not saying that victims don't exist. Victims do exist. But I do everything I can to not let myself fall into that because it's more empowering to choose to see things as they're happening for me, and everything's happening for a reason, so I can do something with it. I can learn something from it. That's how I became who I am today. Is I've been able to coach a lot of amazing people, and we co-created a lot of amazing things, and a lot of my knowledge came from me having to go to therapy, me having to do all these courses and everything else that I wanted to learn because it was such an impact on me. But I didn't view it as like, oh, all this shit happened to me, so I'm going to be a victim the rest of my life. I overcame it. I did something with it. I learned from it. So that struggle, it was optional. So same goes for you. Same goes for all of us. And I'm not saying that, yes, sometimes people do struggle, because I could just see the hate comments coming in now justifying why people are a victim. I get it. Sometimes we do feel like a victim. Sometimes things do happen. And eventually, a lot of the people that overcome those things, they end up choosing to see it as something that in the end happened so that they could overcome it. Another thing that causes us to feel like life is a struggle, or things like, and our struggle isn't optional, is because of how we feel, how we perceive things. Like, a lot of people have a negative emotional home. I would even say that naturally, like, I have or had a negative emotional home. Whereas some people are just naturally, they tend towards the positive. So they experience positive affect in their life where they just generally, their baseline is in the positive territory. I would have to guess that the majority of people are more in the middle or towards the negative affect, where they experience things and then they lean towards the negative. And so I want you to understand that that's optional. Look, we all know people that you give them the exact same experience. We all know someone who they get a flat tire. No matter what happens to them, they get a flat tire, their car breaks down, and they end up meeting someone who helped them on the side of the road. And next thing you know, they're in a relationship and they get married. And they're like, oh my God, all from a flat tire. But that person likely was in a positive experience, or they were handling it in a very effective way when they met the person. Versus we all know people who are so negative that even if they won the lottery, if they won the lottery for 1 million, they'd say, oh yeah, but it wasn't 5 million. Like, there's always like a negative spin on it. That's optional to see that way. And once we become consciously aware that, oh, I've been in a negative emotional home, I keep coming back to frustration or sadness because that's what I'm familiar with, we can become aware of it and catch it and say, okay, no, I'm not being a victim to this. I'm choosing a different feeling. And this can be very challenging in the beginning, but it pays off immensely because you don't stay stuck in that negative emotional home that keeps creating a negative response in and to life. And so just understand, anytime we feel a struggle or a resistance, that's to life, because life is just reacting to us. Life is just a response to our energy and how we are showing up. Again, I know things happen, but overall, we are the ones who bring ourselves to life, and life responds to us. So understand, if you're struggling, a lot of it is optional, and you can release a lot of the struggle by allowing and letting go. And now I want to teach you the letting go process. Very powerful process for just letting go of the struggle and the resistance that we feel in life. Quite often, with many things in life that we feel justified for having a struggle with, really what we're doing is we're just holding on to the struggle. So just like with this pen, I'm holding on to it. And the letting go process is the idea of becoming aware. I'm holding on to this. Would I be willing? Could I let this go? Would I let this go? And then letting it go. And then you're free from it. Now, sometimes you have to do it a few times over, but I just want to share with you the questions to bring you through it. And you can just ask yourself, can I be with this struggle? Can I just see that I'm struggling right now? Okay, I can see that I'm struggling right now. Could I let this go? Could I just let this struggle go and just allow whatever these circumstances are? Could I allow these circumstances to happen? Yeah, I could. I could allow these circumstances to happen. Would I? Would I allow these circumstances to happen? Yeah, sure. When? Now. You know what? I'll let it go now. I'll just let it be now. But it's being with whatever it is that we're resisting. And then could I let it go? Would I let it go? When? There's actually 5 questions. I shortened it. But it's very helpful because it allows you to be present to life. And I also think of, I forget his name right now. Peter. God, I did one of his programs years ago. One of my favorite quotes, and that is, what happened happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way because it didn't. Like, things happened this way. So just allow this to be this. This is what it is. This is what was supposed to happen because this is what happened. And that relieves us of all the struggle, or most of the struggle. So understand, a lot of our struggle in life is because of our resistance to life, our resistance to what is. And when we can just allow it to be, and when we can just let it go and just accept life as it is, a lot of the struggle falls away because now we're just being in life instead of pushing back against what is. So I'm going to wrap it up there. That's the video for today. That a lot of your struggle is optional and you can opt out of it by just letting it go. I hope that's been helpful.